Hello, everybody, and excuse me. Welcome to another stream. So happy to be back at it, and a few updates from what I've been trying to do over the past week or so since I got back from vacation. Is I've been trying to, and what we're going to do today as well, is focus on kind of the landing area, right? So we were discussing that, you jump out of the airplane and so the place that you want to land, I just don't want it to be just a kind of like the plain old like procedural area of the world, like in the forest. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to, for these areas, put a little bit more detail into it. So I'm not sure, you might call them like a hero area, or like you have hero assets, right? You got these assets that are like look really good, like weapons and things that are like really in the foreground, really close to the player. And that's what I wanted to do for these areas where you kind of land, right? So, and along with that, it's also directing the player a little bit. Meaning, what I want to do is I want the player to kind of at first, once you land, have a little bit of this is where you need to go type of thing, right? So, um, and um, I don't want to make it like completely kind of boxed in a way, because it's kind of a natural environment. So, I was playing around with this little area last night, and we'll try and complete it today. And this is in my test environment. The way I've set this up is just with a level instance. So basically, something like this that gets added in where my full points are. So this, what I wanted, the way, why I wanted to do it like this, it's kind of like with the rocks around it, like the busy vegetation that you wouldn't get just from like procedurally generating this. You might be able to get it, I think, if you use like PCG, but that's, goes over my head at this point. I think it's still experimental. I'm not sure I'm on 5.5.3, so the latest version. I'm not sure how well it would probably work, but I would just have to spend too much time on it. And I think to me, it's a little bit easier and more fun to just hand place some of these items. So with that said, this is kind of like once you land, this is going to be kind of the back side of it, so to speak. And the way I want to set these up is more like kind of like a clearing type of thing. So you fall there, you kind of get an idea that you can walk on a couple of paths. One of them is going to be blocked, so you have to turn around. But the other one is going to lead you in the case of the demo full point is where you rescue the hostage that we were looking at in the last stream. So uh, that's why I wanted to. This is kind of this little area is going to be a little bit kind of surrounding you and trying to direct you in the direction of where this guy is being held hostage. So yeah, last night I was playing around a little bit with placing some of these assets. One other thing that I've done is I redid the materials on some of these rocks that came with the same package that the trees are from. And I just wanted to kind of make them a little bit more uniform in the ways like the textures are, because this is kind of how they used to look, or like not how they used to look, but the original look, with the scan material, they look nice. Um, I mean, once you increase them in size, not so much, but because you can't really tile a scanned texture. But yeah, so what I wanted to do for this stream is actually just work on this area, kind of like I said, try to do like a little bit of a block out, starting with kind of the big stones around it. And like I said, I would say funnel, direct the player into where, in the case of this fall point is where you need to rescue the hostage. So yeah, let's get to it. The other thing that I didn't get around to today, unfortunately. I was hoping for, but I got caught up with a snowstorm that hit our area, and it was a lot of physical shoveling yesterday. But um, but yeah, the other thing that I wanted to do and that I started looking into is, once you follow the airplane, like all the kind of the audio type of um, uh, they're not interactions, but audio signals that the player would give, like kind of just a scream out once you're falling down, when you hit the ground, that kind of thump when you hit the ground, and then like kind of a groan when you get up, like an oh my God, oh my back kind of thing, So I've been trying to find some Creative Commons Zero audio recordings for some of these, and I'll add those in. I should have them by next week, so that kind of the fall is um, uh, realistic in a way of, you jump out of the airplane, there's like the scream of you falling, and then, hit the ground, you hear that thump, and then kind of that groan when you get up, and yeah, and you basically start the game. All right, so let's get to it. This should be a little bit of just level design, kind of fun, and that's what I usually like to do, not so much as fiddling with blueprints. So yeah, like I said, the way I have this set up is through a level instance, making it easier for me to import this level instance into my world. And also with the level instance, the other thing that is cool about it is that you can also create a pack level actor and create all um, the hierarchical instance. I'm not sure how it determines whether that's going to be hierarchical instance or just an instant. And I like this better than the other option that I might have mentioned in a previous stream, where you select the items and you go into, I think it's under actor, and then, so you have a bunch of assets that are the same, like trees, or, like in the case of this, since it's a hand placed kind of area, I want to select all these trees and just have them be one instance, because they're just, you know, there are probably like three different trees in here. So, once you have 20 trees, you're still going to get three draw calls. But so the one option was to, select all the trees, and then under actor, there's like merge actor, and one of the options, as you can see, there's quite a number of actors in here that are just repeating. So one of the options is to either merge them into a single mesh, which I don't really like especially for natural things like this. But there is the option to, I believe it was batch, either batch or simplify, where it creates them as instances. And I wasn't very successful with that because once you create it as an instance, I could not figure out how to get them back to the original state. So if you create it with a pack level actor, you can just break that pack level actor back into either if it was a level instance or into its individual pieces. So it's a little bit less destructive to as my kind of work with this has gone. All right, so let's get into this. I'm just gonna go ahead and edit this level. And like I said, I don't want it to make it look like it's just a complete, if you think about it, think of a horseshoe, like a horseshoe from a horse, right? Like the shape of it, right? I want to direct the player towards this exit, right? Where that guy that is being held hostage is. I want to kind of give the player the idea that there might be something that way as well. So I'm just going to create like a little bit of a path in between these two rocks here, right? So you can walk that way a little bit, but yeah, it's going to be blocked in the end. So what I'm going to do, it's a little bit this is one thing that I can't really say that I like about the level instances. Once you go in and you edit it, it just kind of it's hard to tell the placement of items, especially if you like in my case, you have them on top of the terrain. right? So it's, yeah, like you can see here, you know, I can kind of tell this is above the terrain, but you know, all this white around here, it's a little bit hard to read. So um, yeah, so for now, I'm just gonna try and place these and give like a little bit of a kind of a ravine type of idea that you can somewhat walk through it, and there's like an end to it, but you know there won't be one. Hey, Bloodshot. Hi, how are you? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Um, all right, so yeah, so this is what I was saying. It's kind of okay uh, when you look at it from this angle, but you still have this area, and the reason for that is that you know, if I was to lift this up, you'll see that what I mean in a little bit. Um, it's good with like these big meshes that they you kind of sink them in the terrain. Once you lift them up, you kind of it's hard to tell where the landscape is at. So yeah, I mean, I guess what could be done, you can place like a plane or like some kind of a thing like that to help you um, see where your ground would be. But I also want to sculpt the terrain afterwards. So once I have this placed, once I have these placed, then we'll probably place a few more assets around, and then I can just move them into the level. So that could also be a way to do it. All right, so kind of, you know, you're back here, you just landed. So, oh, there's a way I can try and go through there. Let's see what's at that end, you know, and just try to block things on these sides, you know, with some of these kind of, um, you know, I think in one package I've seen them called as scarps. I'm not sure if that's actual term, but you know, kind of these kind of roots type of systems, and like I said, just adding some detail in here. All right, with some trees on these ends. How are you doing, Bloodshot? Thank you for stopping by. Hopefully you had a great week. All right, and some of this. I'm just trying to kind of create like a little bit of a corridor that's just gonna dead end. Oh yeah, work is good. Work is good. I mean, um, it's good to keep busy. Like, so let's see. Trying to place these around here like this. Unfortunately, this is not a full mesh, so it's got a it's got a backside to it that is I can show you guys. It's actually a pretty cool mesh once you get it in. But yeah, you can see here that is not a I'm not sure they call it a completed mesh or like a closed mesh, I think is what it's called. Yeah, closed mesh. Hey Bob, welcome, welcome. Salud, salud, welcome. Um, Oh, yes, yes. I know. I work in that area as well, so I know when it's people get really stressed really quickly about things with deadlines, and even if it's out of your control sometimes, um, it can create tension, right? All right, let's see. How do I want to place this one? Let's try and rotate it a little bit or like this. Give a little bit more kind of do a little bit of variety for this. See if we can. Oh, do you mean like the backside of it, this side here? That's how it came. I do not use nanite, no. Because I mean, I don't really have any use for it, to be honest. And I've tried it, but I haven't seen any kind of like, besides the fact that you need to use that, what they call it, like the virtual shadow maps. Whenever I turn that on, I lose like 10% of my frame rate. So uh, yeah, I'm kind of staying away from nanite for now. Like I said, I'm a fan of Lumen. I'm a fan of Lumen, to be honest, because I haven't seen uh, enough like a really huge kind of yeah, it has a performance drawback for sure, but I haven't seen it that to be that big to the point of, you know what, I don't want to use it. Yeah, but nanite is a lot more taxing than Lumen. Like I've never had any issues with Lumen kind of either crashing or anything else like that. But with Nanite, yeah, I've had some trouble. All right, so let's see. We can do a quick play test to see how this kind of looks. Like if you go through this, you know, kind of thinking that you can go through it type of thing. Let's see how we can place these. Oh, hey, Bloodshot. Yeah. How is that? Um, I know that people are excited with you know, Kingdom Come Deliverance, but I think they've tweaked the engine so much that kind of just like with Lumberyard, I'm not sure how much CryEngine. I mean, there's probably still some core of CryEngine still left in there, you know, when it comes to lighting and some other aspects of it. But I'm kind of curious to see how far they've worked on the engine. Now, unfortunately, it is. I've tried a demo of Kingdom Come Deliverance, and I did try it on a 970, and unfortunately, it was crawling. Like it was, uh, like the performance was, I was barely getting at 30 on like I think low, not high, but between medium and high settings. Um, yeah, so I'm kind of curious how is it? All right, so let's see. Let's save this. Yeah, Alan, I hear you. That's what I've noticed as well. You know, with uh, you know, with Nanite off, and I've had a lot more of a stable experience with it off. You know. Oh, hey, and hey, Adlam, good to have you. Oh, thank you so much. I will definitely try those. Appreciate that. Thanks for sharing. Hopefully that might come in handy to others as well. So I'm just gonna copy that right now and save it in my notepad. And I'll definitely give that a try. I still run my good old 1080. Yeah, so I'm not, so I think 1080, so what I have is a 1070. I think 1080 is what, like 15, 20% better than a 1070. Um, But yeah, I think the latest. So, speaking about UE Unity games, I got there was on sale on Dead Space, like the remake of Dead Space, and it was like a really big sale, which was awesome. But you know, I was surprised that I think because it looks like it's using Lumen, but I guess I was expecting there are some areas where the lighting is really quite nicely done, but there's some areas where I'm not sure what was going on because I was a little disappointed in in some of the areas, like how the lighting was looking in some of those. And yeah, I wish there was um, I mean, I don't know how they handle it. But yeah, in some areas of that game, and I think it is from what it looks like, it is UE5 with Lumen enabled, Lumen for reflections as well. And I get it that they were trying to do the whole, um, sci-fi thing. So there's like a lot of metallic stuff and there's like a lot of reflections going on. But for some surfaces, the reflections look really good. But for some others, they were really noisy. So I think they might have had some trouble at how they apply like the roughness on some of those materials. I mean, again, that's my really um, unexperienced game developer or user of not working in a company type of person. So yeah. All right, let's take a look and I'll try and do um, some simulations here and there with some of these items to kind of just have some of these stacks. Um, Yeah, yeah, that's definitely one of the ways to do it. But here's a question: have you been able to convert them back? Like for example, because I think at that point you can't really. I'm not sure. I think you can duplicate an instance, um, but you can't change like material for that instance or anything like that, to my knowledge. So, have you been able to get back um, to like a static mesh type of state, right? If you place them in as static meshes. All right, let's place a few of these kind of granite rocks, and I'm gonna place them outside of the level, um, and excuse me. So I'm gonna place them outside of this level instance, and then just copy them back in because it's a little bit easier to read where I'm placing them. And then again, like I said, I'm gonna be doing some sculpting on the terrain once we bring this into the main level, and that should help as well. Yeah, so that's see the same problem that I was mentioning. So that's why I've been trying to do with to use the pack level actors, just from the non-destructiveness. Is that a word? Yeah. Um, from it, you know. All right, so I'm just going to place a few of these meshes around here, kind of like fallen debris, so to speak. Place a few here and there. Let's see. And like I said, this would be kind of the initial placement, and then sculpting the terrain around them for that should also help. But yeah, I was talking about Dead Space. So that was a really, I mean, as far as the game itself, the game is awesome. Like I've loved the first and even all the other Dead Spaces, like 2 and 3. I know some people complain about them. It's like, oh, they were trying to do it like a open world kind of thing. Well, I mean, you can't just you got to switch up it a little bit. Um, but but yeah, it was awesome to to go back to that world with kind of updated graphics and all that. And it is like the story itself that is top notch, I think. That world of Dead Space. I'm not sure. Have you guys played Dead Space as well, or are you fans? Maybe not fans. All right, so let me place a few of the bigger boulders in here from that. Um, where is that package? I know I have it somewhere. Procedural, maybe. What was the name of it? Nordic Conifer. How I keep forgetting the name of this. Only the first, yeah. Um, and the first is definitely the better of the three, but the second and third one um, is all they're also great. All right, so let's see, where do we have the rocks and some of the larger ones like this. Oh, interesting. So, Atlam, what can you supply for like parameters to it? Like create me an inventory blueprint or all right, so let me see, where was the other one? I think this rock cluster. Oh, that's interesting. But I mean, see, this is while it's great, like all the stuff that can be done, I think at the same time it's a little bit of like for myself, hopefully other people as well. Um, I I don't have fun telling AI, hey, create me. Yeah, if it's something simple, that for me would be like a kind of a time waster. But doing this stuff that I'm doing here now, uh, to me this is fun. So I don't want AI to take my fun away, or like, um, so to speak. So I still want to I still want to do this and not. While AI might get to the point that it's creating these things just like I would, from like a design standpoint, item placement standpoint, whatever. Um, I still like to do this stuff. So yeah, I can see, kind of like big companies and that they want to minimize costs and maximize profits, that they're just gonna be all over it. But yeah, for myself, I'm all for doing this by hand. I mean, I just enjoy doing it. So yeah, totally. That's I'm totally with you on that because I do have there's definitely a lot of like boring aspects even with game development. Uh, I know people might not want to hear that, but it is what it is. There's quite a lot of moments that I had where I'm like, can I just automate this, or like, can this be done in a simpler way, quicker way? Yeah, I totally get that. And I think we'll see that those areas are gonna get automated. Um, like creating a life, like a walk walk cycle. I'm not sure how fun that is, unless it's like for some kind of interesting type of character. But if it's just like your, standard bipedal human type of thing, um, I think they've been, um, worked on so much that. All right, so we're getting close to how this is gonna look. I wanted to also place some things on top of this, but that might be done just through the terrain, like sculpting the terrain around this area. And yeah, so let's see if how the player can navigate around that real quick, and then we'll uh, get everything in here into the main level and kind of finish off, building off the area in there. Maybe I'll kind of complete the what I call like the horseshoe, right? It'd be like this shape here, like it'd be like this and like this, so you'd funnel the player out through here. Yeah, that's true. Exactly. That's a great point, Atlam. Yeah, I love that point. All right, so let's continue editing this and finish off this kind of block out. I'm just going to use these big meshes for blocking things out. Just like this. Maybe let's see if we can place it a little bit higher so we can kind of sculpt the terrain a little bit around it. Also add some trees around there, that ledge. Oh, and one thing that I forgot to add is some of these dead trees. Oh yeah, and also on my end, another thing that I've been working on, and hopefully I'll be able to share a little bit more details, is something that I mentioned in a previous stream when it comes to the town and joining. You've probably seen that I have a lot of instances that are for, oops, where did that end up? So in my town, I have a lot of level instances for each one of the buildings, and some of them get repeated, right? For like non-enterable buildings, some of them that look the same. So I have joined all of those into one level. So I'm gonna attempt these. I had some actually pretty good success with creating a pack level actor out of all of them, but they seemed a little bit unorganized. So I wanted to place everything into one level for the town, and I'll show you once we jump into that main level and create the pack level actor for the town. Um, yeah, in one shot. All right, so there we go. We have that. We'll do some sculpting for the terrain there. Let's use another one of these. Try and kind of just turn these around. This is actually a pretty decent mesh. And with the shader that I have, I can tile um, the base color more depending on whether I want it to have like a higher or lower, texel density, I guess it's called once you get up close to this, so it doesn't look so low res. All right, so we're kind of completing the go this way, hey, go this way uh, part of this. And that's the thing, kind of using the same mesh um, and having this mesh in particular has quite a lot of um, difference in every one of its sides. One thing that I did want to do, and I forgot, is actually to add this little top blend thing where it just adds like you know, some moss and some you know, like you see around here. And I just need to adjust this a little bit. So similarly to how, for example, this mesh is, that it has all this moss around, and I want to do the same for this one. So bear with me just 1 minute here. So by the way, your character PDA UI, is that the widget or to mesh render? I just did a test having a widget render target to hand PDA. Now I have a mini map on my left arm. I'm like, oh, nice, awesome. Yeah, so I might have shown that you have the option to either use that as an actual physical object, so it would interrupt gameplay, right, when you look at it, or have it as just a simple UI. So, um, but yeah, when it comes to the actual physical 3D object, it just has like a, I think it's a widget component on top of it, on top of the actual mesh. Does that answer your question? Hopefully it wasn't. I didn't make it too confusing of an answer. All right, let's see. All right, so that's what I'm looking to have. Let me see if I can adjust the settings for this a little bit better. So there's our moss, and let's see if we can adjust this. All right, and the other thing that I can do is also add a cover with a mask. So let's see real quick. To add a little bit more of, yeah, right now it looks terrible, I know. So let me just add my textures here. And also the, oops, that was not the normal, my bad. All right. So the material that I'm working with is this thing that I've created, and what I can do is I can have this top blend that's kind of just top to bottom type of setup, but I can also add a cover to the entire thing, and this one can take a mask. So in the case of the mask, I can use the grunge that I've been using everywhere, which is kind of a 3-channel grunge. So you can see that it, let me go into this. So you can see that it applies it like this, depending on, so I can change the green or like the blue. So you can see this one's a little bit different, kind of just spotty. So it's using the channels um, from the the grunge or the mask that I currently have. So or I can also invert this. Let's see if this works. Yeah. So see, it's got like kind of just inverted the mask. So we'll see which one works better for this particular asset. Oh yeah, it's a pretty versatile one, and it's a very small mask. I think it's a 512. So let's tile this up a little more for the moss. I don't think I want to invert it though. Let's see, and maybe can we play around with the power of it? Red, I think this channel might work a little bit better. Yeah, I like that. Let me bump up the normal for the moss as well. So it kind of looks like it's, yeah, see, like at 0 is, let's make it 5. Okay. And can we see how it looks around here? Yeah, so I think that's okay. So I got the kind of from the top part of the moss around here, and there's also like the added cover based on that the mask that I chose. So I had green and I had blue. I think blue was more like spotty. I'm not sure about this one. It might be a little bit too spotty. But I think green was okay. Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of reduce. You don't really notice the tiling of the cliff texture, but just to reduce a little bit the repetitiveness of just what do I call, like the just the cliff texture and only cliff texture. So I just wanted to add this in, and then we can probably add a couple of decals for some like spots on the rocks and stuff like that. Hey Imran, welcome, welcome. I'm doing good. How are you? Welcome, welcome to the stream, and Happy New Year if you haven't, if this is your first stream of the year. Okay, so we have this, and let's see if we can kind of close this loop up. Kind of like this. Let's actually do some changes out here to add a little bit more of a, try to make them a little bit different as much as we can. Right, so once you fall, you're gonna fall right here. And then, with these, it's just gonna direct you to, hey, you know what? Maybe you should go this way. How about that? And the next one, I kind of liked how it looked with the rotation of these two down here. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Um, that's really, I think that's really immersive type of thing. Like with the direction of the growth. Yeah. Let's see. There is that. There we go. So it's kind of pointing you into the direction of this, kind of where you're gonna be the savior of this guy. So they would be like a little bit farther out. You'd be coming in, falling into this point. You're not really seeing that there's something bad happening right around the corner, but and we can adjust this maybe a little bit more. like this. Yeah, there we go. All right, so with these placed like this, I should be able to make use of these little root type things just to kind of bump them up against it, so it's not that kind of hard transition between like the vertical and the horizontal surface. And then also add a couple of these. Oh, thank you, Atlam. Yeah, that was one thing that I was kind of trying to um, put some thought into, and especially since there's like um, multiple of, there's not just one of these, so I don't want to have the player kind of, oh, but I need to go this way type of thing, right? And the other thing is that once you kind of to get out of here, the way I was thinking of it is you actually have to take this guy out because you don't have any weapons at this point. So if you're just going to walk past him, kind of just like, speed run through this or whatever, this guy's going to shoot you. So that would be kind of like the first opportunity for you to do like a stealth takedown, right? And so yeah, that's at least that was my thought. All right, let's see how we can get this in here as well. Right, kind of like this. Sorry for kind of just a little bit too much back and forth between these, between being inside of the level and, kind of editing items outside of it. Yeah, we'll see. This one might be a little bit too big. I'm just trying to place it right under that ledge. Though that's one thing that I don't think in nature you see that. Like this root type of thing happening at the bottom of a cliff. It should probably happen like at the bottom of some trees that are next to the cliff. Uh, kind of like this. And then in the main level we can sculpt that out a little bit. So again, I'm trying to just use these as, hey, go this way. How about if you try going this way? You never know. And then you got to turn back. All right, so something like that. And let's see, I just wanted to add something on the ground out here. All right. So I think the main area of this is in place. We can bring this into the main level and start like doing some of the sculpting around it. I know that especially the ones that are facing towards wherever the sun might be facing, will still need some terrain sculpting or some of these being placed around just so that you don't get the light coming through that backside of this. And of course, once if you walk around it, you're not going to see this empty thing. Okay. So I'm just gonna hide this for now and copy all these that we've placed like outside of the level. And also these simulated ones. I am thinking actually, let me just simulate a few more. So I just want to put some of these dead trees, these kind of bigger ones, and simulate those. So let's do that real quick because it's in the main level, once you simulate it, it's kind of like loading the game. So it's not very quick. And so what I'll do it in here just to simulate it in that area. And let me see, where is the trees? And I want the dead ones just to place them around here. And so this, let's make this 1.5 maybe, 1 at 2, and 1 at, let's do maybe 1.25. All right, and for these guys, let's simulate physics. I'm curious to see how this is going to work. Nothing really. See if we just kind of turn them to the side like this. And all right, well, I mean, actually not too bad. I'm okay with that. They kind of look like they fell off the side of the cliff. The one thing that I need to, excuse me, one thing that I need to do is for their material, I don't want them to like wave like that, which looks a little odd. But they're in place, so I can potentially just replace them with something else, like a big log or something. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab these. Um, Actually, no, just these along with the logs. And these ones, actually not those, because that's the forest. But with these groups. All right. Oh man, I hate this. It's I guess if you try to like cut and paste, I'm not sure if this is just silly or what it is. Just gonna try and group these together. And then I got that group, this group, and this one. That's interesting. Why would I want to delete it? Yeah, this is one of the oddities sometimes that I'm never able to understand with Unreal why that is. So in this case, I'm just gonna, why would I want to delete this? So this deletes every item in that group. It doesn't make sense, man. Hey, TLP, welcome. How are you doing? Doing good, I hope. All right, so let's ungroup these, and I'm just gonna copy them like this. It's silly, man. I don't know. All right, so let's paste this in here. Let's get these logs too. See if this one has the same. Yeah, it has the same issue. And even if you cancel it, it's still, yeah, doesn't make sense. All right, let's just ungroup it. I'm just gonna cut it like this. Not sure why I can't like cut and paste a group. Uh, I need to look that up. No, this is not how you do it. So let's ungroup this, cut this, and paste it in here. All right, and if I hide this, the only thing that I need to copy are these little granite meshes. Alan, you just press K. So you have the item selected that you want to simulate physics. And I forgot to uncheck simulate physics for those. So thank you for the question and the reminder. Once you're happy with their resting position, you just press K. All right, so now we have this little, I think I called it like a hero landing area. Very on the nose. Oh yeah, anything in particular that you're trying to achieve? One cool shader that I've seen and I've always liked these types of shaders is like kind of like the volumetric frosted glass for like these sci-fi containers that hold like I don't know, like experiments or like an a alien head or something like that. And I've seen some of those um, Dead Space. Uh, I guess, I went in with, graphics wise, I think I was hoping for a little bit more, but and one thing that I didn't really like, I get it, it's a horror game, but there's some areas, like I said, I think there were like different people responsible for different areas when it came to lighting. There's some areas that is like pitch black. Like I mean, there's got to be some bounce light in there. I mean, and there wasn't any kind of jump scare happening out of those corners. It was just so it's just pitch black. If anybody has played like Dark and Darker, um, and I probably get it, that that game is meant for people to like hide in the shadows or encamp there or whatever they do. But but I couldn't see the point in like an actual just single player game, whether it be horror or not, for like completely pitch black areas. Um, So like I said, there were some areas that were seemed like inconsistent in lighting. Um, and I think one thing that I wasn't necessarily, like I said, disappointed by it, but there were some surfaces, like these greeble, I think is what they call it, was like a kind of like a mishmash of sci-fi type of things, that it's easy you can easily apply it to like a sci-fi game, right? That seemed to be kind of not low res, but something that you do in a hurry, you know. Um, and that was one thing that I couldn't really understand why they did it that way. Um, not that it was I didn't like what that was, but it was I was hoping for more, right? I mean, it is Dead Space, so um, Okay, and so now we have this little hero area, as I was calling it. Um, so let's see where we want to place it because it's actually kind of big now that I'm looking at it. Um, so we were thinking of the first landing spot to be somewhere around here. I don't want to kill this little nice ridge that I have going on back there. I mean, this could actually prove as a good point for a fall point, for a place to fall, like right in between here. But I do like this area that I've just created, so I think it might be off with this area's head because we can just build it around this. Right, so this could be, where you're gonna fall back here. This is kind of sunk in the ground. It kind of works with this little island here. It should at least. I hate when you can see they're trying. Yeah, and it seemed, like I said, I'm sure they had multiple teams involved in it. So I'm not sure if some teams were given less time than other teams or how it went. It's still Electronic Arts, right? So they got investors that they got to satisfy, and let's see, maybe we can actually, I think I'm just going to push it back here because this area was pretty empty. And yeah, so I think it's going to work good over here because the guy is going to direct you towards the town and you can still see it from here. So yeah, I think this is going to be a good placement for this one. I was trying to block it before, doing the stream into like how big this space is. I think I might have gone a little bit overboard with it, but yeah, so basically you're landing right here. The guy that you're gonna need to save is right around the corner. This is the little alleyway or path back to where it just dead ends. So yeah, I think that's gonna work in this spot. This is already like the terrain is already sloped up, so it's not just completely flat and boring. Yeah, so the with the trees back here, it also kind of blends into this area that we previously built out. And so I don't need to really destroy anything, so to speak. And the thing is, it also works with with some of the back side of these open meshes. Okay, yeah, I think I'm good with that. I'm just gonna need to sculpt the area around here a little bit so you don't have to swim. And oh yeah, that's one of the other things that I was working on this week. I forgot to mention is just fixing some of the swimming because it was kind of funky to some extent, and so I've been doing some work on that to just refine it a little bit. Well, all right, let's try and work this out here to see how this is going to turn out. I think this is in a good spot. Everything is accessible. We just need to tweak the terrain a little bit. Yeah, we got the trees around it. Okay, I'm good with that. Actually, let's also see how it's gonna look at um, at sunset. Okay, not too bad. I'll take that. Kind of the sun on the top of the trees. Um, so yeah, let's just keep it for during daylight for now, um, just so that we can see things a little bit better. Uh, Top-down template from the Easy Survival. Uh, Alan, would you mind sharing a link to that? I'm not entirely sure I know what that is. Is that like a new um I'm not sure what the Easy Survival is. Is that Easy Survival people or I'm not sure what that is. Um yeah, so TLP it is going to be a single player because mainly that's the types of games that I play. Well, actually, that's those are the only types of games that I play. So so yeah, it is. Sorry to disappoint. Hopefully not disappoint, but yeah, those are the like I said, those are the types of games that I play as single players. All right, so let's do some, not that, but some terrain sculpting. Oh, and I just want to save real quick. All right, so let's sculpt, and we'll try and bring this up to about just oops, that's a little too much. Right underneath the stone ledges here, like this. That's fine over there. And what we could do here is add a little bit more so it's not just all just a simple vertical wall. Um, so there we go. I think that helps. And the same thing on this side. There you go, kind of like that. So if the player was to try and like climb on top of one of these, um, they wouldn't be getting too far, they'll be limited um, by the cliffs around it. All right. One other thing that I've been playing around with is kind of the tree density layout placement. I've been they're a little bit um, the whole procedural uh, settings that they have. They have a lot of settings that they seem redundant at some point. So I've been trying to play around with these to hopefully try and get them to look a little bit more natural. Not sure how well I was able to achieve it, but it to me it looked a little bit better than like the last time I tried it. This was like one straight line, because especially on flat terrain you notice it even more. So yeah, I was trying to get a little bit more variety in like the heights of trees, and you can probably see it around here as well. Like this used to be just really literally it was just one height. Yeah, there were some that were like lower height, but so that's one of the things that that procedural foliage tool is really powerful, but it seems for probably 99% of the cases, a lot of the settings are just somewhat redundant um, when it comes to like the density and a few other details, like the growth scales they are a little bit, you know, not I wouldn't call it uh, odd, but just they don't seem to be um, useful. All right, and this is one thing here with this particular mesh that again, it doesn't have a back face. So not sure if I'm going to be able to to work this out somehow. Let's see. It's a little bit of a bummer that this particular mesh does not have a back face, but I get it. It's just made to be set into the side of a cliff or something like that. So we'll see if we can fake some of these things with some terrain sculpting. Oh, that's a little too much. But hey, almost there. Um, Combine the mesh and the level plane. So you won't need to micro edit the landscape to fill all the holes. I think I get what you're saying, Atlam. Uh, as much as I can. Okay, so I'm kind of liking this little hump here. Intentional or not. So these are already pretty well placed, but I just wanted to kind of lift some of these areas up a little bit. Like I said, it's not all just flat. There we go. And we'll also paint some of the terrain here, so it should help as well. Hey, Sandro, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Salud, salud. Welcome, welcome to the stream. Let's see. Where's the bottom of this? Oh, they should be somewhere around here, I think. I remember I had those logs in place. And right around the edges, I'm just gonna go down the middle and kind of leave the edges a little bit elevated when it comes to the points it touches the cliff. So I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I just gotten back, had a short vacation, and I'm happy to be back working on this. It's always exciting to make progress. All right, let's smooth this out a little bit. And also paint a little bit more of kind of just grass down the middle around here. How far did you get on the story and the quest line? So, unfortunately, I haven't been able to. I've been spending some time, generating some more of the dialogues. So I haven't been able to actually write the, when the characters, the NPCs reply back, like all those all those text dialogues that show up. I haven't been able to make those. I use what is called a dialogue plugin. So I need to create those trees basically because once you start talking to somebody, um, you can exit the dialogue, right? So you got to create the yes and no question replies type of thing. Like, will you be willing to help me? And you can say yes, or do you have the the item I asked for, you know. Um, so that way, once the player comes back, that thing it starts up again, and the NPC asks for, oh, hey, you're back, or whatever. Do you have that item, right? So okay, so yeah, this would be, like I said, kind of like the hero area where you land, and once you get up, you if you try to go this way, you're stuck. You can't really proceed, so you got to go back this way. And once you turn the corner, you'll see that guy being taken hostage, and that's kind of your first interaction with the NPC, and kind of a stealth takedown at that point as well. All right, well, let me resimulate let me close a bunch of these. I don't think I need, actually, I'm just gonna leave them open. Apologies for the performance. I just have like a dozen or so tabs open, and sometimes it's kind of a pain to reopen them, find which ones you wanted to have open. So narrative, Atlam, is that also like a component slash plugin, um, or however people set them up nowadays? Or how is it set up basically? There we go. That actually seems to be better placement for that rock. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, with mine, with the dialogue plugin, the way I have it set up is that it has these, you can set up these conditionals and these events. So basically, as you go through the dialogue tree with a particular NPC. So say a particular NPC is going to have, 5 quests that they're going to send you on, right? And in a specific order. Um, or, if you already have the item to complete one of them, what it does through the conditional, it checks for that item that would complete the quest. And then if it does, then it just skips that part of the tree of that dialogue tree, and it goes into the next one. It's like, oh yeah, good thing, you got food you know, um, for such and such. So yeah, I'm gonna need this from you, type of thing. So that's how my setup is with this with the dialogue. Okay, so I think there is quite a bit of detail going on in here, from a kind of like m- more of a hand hand built area rather than just all procedural. So like I said, let's do I'll resimulate the trees, and let's see what gets spawned where. Oh, but first, what I wanted to do actually is I wanted to do a little bit of sculpting out here. Some of these meshes might not be needed. I can probably remove this one, but let me sculpt this out so I can like bring this to the edge over here, so maybe more trees would get simulated on this side. Okay, so let me get this up, and let's see how high do we want to go with this, maybe to about there. Let's see if that's any good, or maybe we need to go a little, we might need to go a little higher. I think that's good on that end. And on that side, let me bump up this tool strength here for a little bit. Oh yeah, there you go. So they seems like they're pretty similar. All right, let's see if we have everything closed on these ends. I think we do. All right, let's also, the other thing that I wanted to do is you might be able to come from this side and kind of climb through all these rocks, though I think I'm just going to make some blocking volumes so you're not going to be, messing about around here. Or maybe even better, let's just do this. I'm just gonna, oh, that's a little too much. But I'm gonna try and get this terrain up to this ledge, to this level, basically is what I wanted to say. Like this. So if you so choose to go that way, you can jump through here, down there, if you survive the fall, that is, and continue on. Okay, so that's kind of smoothing that end out. On this side, I think I'm good with it like that. And good, these sides are not, don't have that open part of it, just right here. So here, let me go ahead and flatten it to about that. And we'll also just block it on this side with one of these big cliff meshes. And that should allow us to spawn some more trees up top. So just have them as instances as well. Let's get it to about there, about here, and here. Let's see, we got some on this side. I think that went a little bit too high. There we go. The smoothing tool is always very helpful. And there's some more over here. Just trying to get all these ends or sides so that we can't see through the mesh. And then we also have those trees on top of those ledges. All right, perfect. So I think that's good. Let me grab one of these guys. That one in particular is too big, but I just want to grab the mesh itself. And try and place these out here. Let's see, where's that open? Where's the open side? All right, so that's pretty good. It covers those as well. Okay, that I'll take that. Let's just place a few of them on this end. I think that's where the open. Where is that? Where's the? Oh, it's on the bottom. Yeah, so what I was doing, I was kind of turning these around like this, just to do a little bit more variety. But yeah, as you can see, the bottom of this particular mesh is open. But if we just lean it up against something, we won't know any better. So if this one goes like this, I think it's almost there. Kind of like that. That could work. Um, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So what I use is something called Mural, Mural, which is free. So yeah, it's like I think you called it right. It's like a brain wave, or they have a name for these apps, that like thought organizer yeah, and you can set it in a way that it's kind of like a graph with okay, so this, you start the game, brain map. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Thank you. Brain map. So yeah, the one that I use is called Mural, and we actually use it at work as well. And that's where I got the idea, because I was trying to find one a while back, and it I couldn't come up with one. And then I realized, wait, we use this thing at work, even though we don't use it for this kind of a this kind of mapping type of thing. But but we do use it for um, you know, for jotting down thoughts from our past week, basically at work. And I thought, hey, you know what, this could work for my needs, and it's actually really useful, at least you know, for me, and it's free. That's the the other thing that I like about it. And yeah, you can, you know, set it up. Then you can like drag arrows to, you know, first objective, second objective, this mission, that mission, and you know, add details in there. You interact with this character, and then this character, and then this character gives you this mission, and so forth. And I'm sure there's probably like uh, a number of solutions out there. But yeah, if you guys wanna check that out, that's the one that I'm using. And it's the thing I liked about it is that it's really simple to use. Like um, it's pretty intuitive. Okay, well, let's see. Now I'm gonna do a little bit of painting of this and see how it goes when we're gonna generate re-simulate the trees. So up on this edge, it's probably gonna be mostly trees. Up around here as well. And this one's already painted. So it should spawn a few trees in there. And we might even get a few up here in this clearing. We'll see. Oh yeah, cool. I'll check it out and reply to that. Because I mean, yeah, the only thing that I wanted to do is just this one step to regenerate the trees, and we'll probably end the stream at this point. We got the area in place. I'm just gonna need to fix this little thing here, but I think everything that I was planning for today's stream, you know, mainly this kind of hero landing area, is is almost is almost done. Um, I'm gonna work on the plane flight path as well, just to make it so that it's not like, as you've seen in the previous streams, the plane is not banking, right? And I believe I was able to get that, you know, banking, or I think it's called rolling, right? Um, I think I got that figured out with the spline, but I just wanted to double check and make sure that it is in place. So yeah, let's see about. Hopefully, some of the changes that I've made to how the trees are placed are not going to mess everything up, but we'll see. Oh yeah, so while this is generating, let me I can quickly go to Discord and check it out. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's pretty similar to that. Yeah, the same element. It's kind of the same. I see that I think I'm able to embed that as well. Not entirely. I haven't tried it to like add voice sounds, but thank you for the idea. Thank you so much. I really like that. I will try and see if I can add the the dialogue so it could serve as a repository for to some extent, right? Okay, well, yeah, there we go. So so that's the placement of things. You know, if you happen to start going this way, you'll be greeted to a dead end. I haven't had any, yeah, I haven't painted as much mulch over here, so I'm gonna try and do that and get some more trees probably on this ledge. But yeah, once you fall down around here, uh, it's seems like a pretty decent looking area. You know, some of the rocks around here, the starting to look at these and they seem a little bit repetitive, this kind of cliff texture. So I'm gonna see if I can find something else. They look good in the distance, you know, for these big um, kind of cliff faces, but yeah, definitely. That's I was playing around with some of those. I think I have like a little package from back in the day for like these little scatter type of animals. You know, like you're saying, you know, like rabbit or squirrels or something that would create some movement in the area, right? And I'll see if I can. I know I hope they're still putting up updates to those packages. But yeah, I did have that planned, you know, so in some areas to have like a little bit of a, you know, animal activity. Let's put it that way. And but but I'll see. Hopefully that package is still valid. I've seen, especially after moving to Fab, a lot of not a lot is an exaggeration, but a good number of items that I had in my library, they're no longer there. So I'm not sure if they're ever gonna, you know, the developer is ever gonna um, be pushing those back out to Fab. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not. It was not a step forward. I mean, I get it. They wanted to unify everything from like ArtStation and Sketchfab and under one roof, but um, to me, the experience is worse now than it was with the regular marketplace. You know, like there's no questions, there's no reviews. I lost all my favorites. Yeah, and I had a lot of them that were I was like looking to get as I'm nearing, you know, towards the demo, and I kind of needed some specific things. But now I can't even find them. Like I try to search for them, and the search is just not. It doesn't work as it used to. So even with all the tags and all the things that they have, I think at this point it's a step back, unfortunately. Hopefully they'll improve on it, maybe some fixes, maybe some, you know, what have you, but at this point it's just not quite there. Yeah. All right. Well, so guys, like I said, what was planned for to be achieved during the stream has been done. Like I said, I wanted to play a little bit with see what kind of lighting scenario might work a little bit better for not that I want to have like something as but you know something like this could potentially work, you know, like as a kind of a nice uh, lighting scenario once you land here, but I need to kind of balance that and decide where to place the other landing spots, right? So yeah, that's one thing that I need to think about. But but that's gonna be it for this week. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your Sunday to stop by, say hi, you know, watch me ramble for a little bit. Hopefully it was something interesting to watch. No dynamic, no ultra dynamic sky. I was actually losing a couple of frame rate, a couple of frames with the Ultra Dynamic Sky, and I just didn't have the I mean the patience to go through it. Basically, it's really powerful. Don't get me wrong. Like there's a lot of features that I really enjoyed with it, but I just didn't since it's gonna be it's not like a um, at least at this point, I'm not planning for a day-night cycle. Um, yeah, it's just gonna be like one time of day. And I know it could have been easier to just bake things, but I think everything is going towards like real time. And yeah, for now, like I said, the full time or day-night cycle is not out of the picture at the moment. It's just I'm not entirely sure, at least for the demo, it's not going to be in, but I'm not entirely sure how to like get it done, and not to not get it done simply. Like the Ultra Dynamics guy is a pretty complex system, and I just wouldn't want to rely on an additional system. I already have like the dialogue and the mission manager, which are pretty complex. So I don't want to go get too deep into the woods with something that I maybe don't have the time or don't want to expand on, right? Because I'm gonna need to do probably some things that Ultra Dynamic Sky doesn't do at the moment. So yeah. All right. Well, guys, again, thank you for stopping by, and I wish you all a great week coming up. And I will definitely see you next weekend. I hope Saturday and Sunday, but definitely just at least one day. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Uh, thank you for all the hearts and and like the confetti. And I will see you next week. All right, take care, everybody.